Welcome everyone here to the Smashport Show right here on Smash FM here in our 10th year of the station. Let's turn our attention now. We're heading to country Victoria in particular, and of course we're speaking to a player that we actually haven't had on the show for about 6 years now. We just missed about this just before we came on. Of course, she plays for the Maryborough Blazers CBL team, and of course she joins us right now, even though, of course, they're close to the end of the season. Of course, they were meant to play last week because of the lockdown they didn't get to, but they'll have another chance to do it hopefully this weekend. And of course, her name is Maggie. She joins us right now. Thanks, Maggie, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with the season up to this point. Obviously, you meant to play last weekend, but because of the lockdown, obviously that hasn't happened. So the question I want to ask you is that game that you were meant to play last weekend, is that going to be scheduled somewhere, or was that just shared the points?
It was shared the points in the end, which, I mean, it's better than nothing. We were supposed to play 2 games, so they were our last 2 games of the season, which would have, determined the ladder even more, where the boys play this weekend still, yeah.
So even though you were meant to play a doubleheader last weekend, but obviously the lockdown didn't favour your team at all, considering that this weekend is the final round of the season. Yep. I guess the question I want to ask you is, what are you hoping that you can still sneak into the finals? What sort of things you needed to happen this weekend to keep that 4th spot?
We don't play any more games. The girls have a bye before semi-finals, so pretty much what the ladder is now is what's set for the upcoming finals series. Okay. It's only the boys that have that chance to change the ladder around a little bit more this weekend, yeah. Which kind of sucks, but it's all good.
So pretty much, even though you didn't play, you pretty much slipped in finals in 2 weeks' time. Of course, if everything else goes the way it should be. I guess, how's the preparations like in regards to what have you done in lockdown to prepare yourselves to get back on the court and prepare for a pretty critical first semi-final?
Yep, so last Thursday night was our last training, because obviously we were planning on playing on the weekend. I guess it's good for our team to have sort of the break, because we did have a few nigglies in terms of injuries, but just keeping the girls on track and making sure that we're all on the same path and where we're sitting on the ladder, and just keeping in contact with one another too, and just in general fitness. Obviously you're allowed to go less than 5Ks from your home, so just getting out on the road and running, and just keeping fit.
Is the team still like communicating with each other during this 5-day lockdown?
Yeah, we communicate all the time via Snapchat or our messenger group chat. We're all pretty close friendship groups, so it's really nice to still keep in contact with one another, yeah.
Tell us a bit about your coach there at Maryborough.
Ladina. I've had Ladina as my coach since under 12, so she's been a big impact in my life. I probably wouldn't have been where I am now without her development skills with us when we were younger. She's just an all-round good person, good coach, and she loves the sport. So she just loves to learn new ways and new plays, and she's crazy. She's good.
Now let's talk a bit about the team itself. Now, we actually just missed this just a moment ago. Last time we had you on the show was 2015 on May 22nd, when you won Girls Got Game. How many of that team that we missed just before are still in the team now in your CBL team?
Keely Hare, she's one of them that's still in. Me, obviously, we did have Kayla Stewart, which was one of the other girls that won the Girls Got Game that you interviewed us about. And Bella Westbrook would be the other one. Yeah, there's only 4 of us. So a lot of them have gone different pathways, moved away Like my sister, for instance, she prefers netball, so she's right into a netball and a PT course at the moment. So yeah, just I guess people peel off and go their own ways, and yeah, it's nice though. Nice to still have some remaining girls.
And how they're travelling so far?
Yeah, good. Keely's just come back this season, so she had a season off. Bella missed the first half of the season this season just due to being in year 12, not really being able to pre-season train, obviously due to COVID. But yeah, they're all tracking well. Kayla's had to pull the pin on this season just with other commitments like work and just trying to get into her first year of uni. So that's always the stressful part, especially going through COVID as well. So, but no, we're all tracking really well, which is nice.
Now let's talk a bit about the rest of your teammates. Now we've just mentioned about 4 of the teammates that we've met a couple that 6 years ago now. Let's talk a bit about the rest of your teammates. Tell us the other members in your team and maybe one we should watch out for.
Oh, we should watch out for all of us. No. We've got a really good point guard, Millie Cracknell and Claire Constable. They're unreal. Their skills are awesome. We've got two really good bigs, which is Claire Blower and Maddie Egan. Like their teamwork together is pretty outstanding as well. We've got good backup bigs like Keisha Tunzing and Keely Hare. But yeah, we're all very versatile. I feel like our bench comes on, they still make a difference and everything like that. It's just, it's really nice to have a very versatile team, whether that's in defense or offense at the moment. So, and Ladina obviously is a very defensive player. She believes that your offense comes if you play good defense. So that's our goal is our good defense get the stops and our offense comes to us. So.
By the sounds of the team that you just rattled out just a moment ago, and you mentioned before that you probably would have preferred to be a little bit higher on the ladder where you are than you end up being. By the sounds of the teams that the players that you have on the team who played for Ballarat and Bendigo in the Big V, and obviously for NBL1 as well, I guess tell us, how has the team sort of all gelled together during this time?
A lot of them play in the same team in Ballarat. So we have a majority of the girls that come from Ballarat. So they all play Youth League and WNBL together. And obviously I used to play for Ballarat as well. So I've known the girls for quite a few years. And obviously with Ladina and Claire, they've been with us since we were pretty young. So I guess it's just old habits and everything that we just know one another, and we've all just gelled and clicked as a friendship group, which is probably one of the best teams you can play in with close friends. So, and Keisha's she's slipped into the team really well. We were looking for someone like her, and she does the 1%ers, which helps the team boost a little bit more. So it's just nice. Friendship group is probably our biggest asset in our team. So yeah.
Now you got a pretty tough conference to compete in, the Northwest Conference, which involves Bendigo, who are the defending champs, and of course Maryborough, who's just coming this year. How have you gone against those two teams?
Well, Maryborough was the one that we were supposed to play on the weekend, so we haven't actually had the opportunity to play them. Which we were excited to play them as just a different team and different faces to play against. But Bendigo got us in our first away game to Bendigo. We kept up with them for a little bit, but yeah, they just took it out and blew us over in the end, which is something that we don't want to happen again. But yeah.
Now, it seems like Bendigo's become a bit of a hoodoo team for Maryborough because I know I don't want to give you flashbacks to what happened last season, but didn't they beat you in the grand final?
Yes, they did. At least our boys won, so that's something that we're hoping, you know, touch the feelings a little bit there, but thank you.
There must be a really fantastic achievement for the association to make it to the grand final and play against a pretty tough team, and actually did a fantastic job in that grand final, not just for yourselves and the girls, but obviously the boys won it all as well last season as well. That must be fantastic for the community there in Maryborough to see both senior rep teams in the CBL make it all the way to the final dance.
Yeah, well, Maryborough is very much about their sporting community, like whether it's football or soccer or basketball or netball, they're very much a close-knit. Like you have supporters come all the time to games just to watch and support, like even if they're not to do with basketball, their kids love to come and watch. So yeah, it was a good achievement, and the amount of people that were Maryborough people that went over to the grand final last year was massive, which is nice. Always having a nice home crowd sort of get you past the point sometimes. Yeah.
And how important have they been this year? Obviously with COVID, I'm assuming there will be a limited amount of people that can be at the venue, but how has the community bonded together?
It's been very different this season, obviously with COVID. A lot of people have been sort of, you know, worried about stepping out of the house or coming to community events. But I mean, there's always those same people there, same people supporting you, and on the odd occasion, the different people, which is just nice to see different faces. But a crowd and community is like everything to Maryborough. So the more people there, the better you play. So yeah, it's nice.
Now let's talk a bit about your basketball journey. For everyone who missed out on an interview that we did back in 2015, tell us, how did you start playing basketball and why did you choose it, Maggie?
I started playing basketball. Sally Neal, which is the president of the Maryborough Basketball, she actually bowled my mum up one time when we were at the footy, I reckon it was, and said that, you know, you need to bring the girls to basketball. I'll take them under my wing, sort of thing. And we went to skills, which is just where the people that are below under 10s go to learn some skills and develop just different aspects of the game. And we went into the Tigers team in under 10s, and then from there we played non-stop. So we went through VJBL with Ladina, which is a Melbourne game. We went to over to Ballarat and played their competitions. So yeah, we were flat sticks with basketball when we were younger. And then you sort of hit 16s and then you sort of slow down a little bit.
Now, talking about, I know you would have had some basketball highlights throughout your journey. Now, if you don't mention Girls Got Game, there's something wrong. But tell us what will be some highlights throughout your basketball journey.
Girls Got Game is one massive one. Probably being in the NITP, which is a program that develops sort of an older group or teenage group in their basketball skills and tries to set them to the highest standard. Playing in a championship for Ballarat in VJBL as well, so I played over there. Just obviously, no, I wasn't at the grand final last year with the girls. I was over in Europe with one of my friends, so I missed out on that, which is the first year the women's team made it. So I can't really say I was there, but I did play the season. But yeah, there's lots of highlights that I've had through my basketball. So I'd call everything an achievement. So it's nice.
Now let's go to the championship at Ballarat, as you mentioned just before. Tell us a bit about when did that happen and what made that team special, and are any of those teammates still playing now?
I'm trying to remember what year it was. It was my last year in VJBL, so I think it was 2017. We won the Friday night No, I don't think there's any of that team that I still play with. I still communicate with a lot of them. Like, we're still all really good friends. But, no. And then the next day I actually got up and went to a netball grand final in Bendigo. So we had a really late night coming home from Melbourne and then got up and played netball again. So, yeah, it was 2017. I'm positive it was 2017. Yeah.
And I have to ask, how did you go in the netball grand final the following day?
Yeah, no, we didn't win that. So, but we were close. It was a good game. It's the first time, like in a long time, that the Maryborough Football Netball Club under 17s made it to a grand final. So that's an achievement.
At least you got a split at least you won something.
We won something, so we celebrated for something. Yeah.
Now let's talk a bit about the Girls Got Game 1, which was in 2015, as we mentioned quite a few times along this interview already. Were you surprised that you got it? And number two, that you actually won it, and especially the way the community really voted for you to win that Girls Got Game?
Yeah, it was very surprising. I was never expecting it. I don't really play the game to win any of those sorts of things. I play it just out of pure enjoyment. But yeah, as I said, Maryborough is a very close-knit community with their sporting aspects. So yeah, you really see a town come together when it comes to trying to get someone to win something. So it's nice. But yeah, I was definitely not expecting it. And then you popped up.
Thanks for reminding me of that. Maryborough is the home of course, one of the best basketball players in the country, in Matt DeLaDovo. Of course, it is Delhi country out there in Maryborough. I guess number one, I know this is going to sound a really silly question to ask, but have you met him?
Yes, numerous times. Where his mum actually is a very, very close with the basketball stadium as well. So she organises all the junior and the Aussie hoops and all the Maryborough tournaments. So yeah, he comes down and runs clinics for Maryborough when he's back home. But yeah, it's been a couple of years now since I've seen him. So he's a very genuine person, which is really nice.
And do you watch his games while he's over in the NBA?
Yeah, I do watch his games sometimes when I get the chance to, when I'm not working or at school or something like that. But yeah, we always try to watch his games, especially when he was playing in the championships. So yeah, he's doing fantastic work. Yeah.
When you got a chance to meet him, what was the one advice did he give you?
He doesn't really give you one. He just, always talks about just having a healthy mindset and just striving for your goals, and, you know, hard work has got to be done in order for something to ever happen or you to go anywhere. So, and he's very hard at work. Like, he's always at the basketball stadium, always pushing himself better. Like, his mum used to explain to us that when he couldn't go up to the basketball stadium, he'd go to the Nolan Street courts and shoot the ball there. So he was constantly doing something. So yeah.
Now, what does the sport of basketball mean to you now, and especially being there at Maryborough?
Basketball's an outlet for me. Like, I work 2 jobs. I'm at uni, so very stressful just to balance things in life. So just having basketball or some sort of sport behind me is just a stress relief, and it's something that I enjoy. So obviously you get the most out of something you enjoy, and gets you refreshed for just everyday life.
And do you have any future ambitions in the sport of basketball?
At the moment, I just really like playing it with my friends, and not as serious as what I used to be. But no, not at this point. Just trying to get through uni and everything, and we'll see what happens after that.
What will be your advice to people in the country that should get involved in basketball?
Just, it's a good way to meet new people, expand your wings a little bit, and just enjoy it. yeah, there's a lot you can say, but I just don't know how to say it.
Now let's finish on a couple of lighthearted questions about your teammates. Firstly, who had the most embarrassing moments on the court this season, and what was it?
I don't think you can really say it's embarrassing as a team. We haven't had many games, so you can't really do that much embarrassing things. But I can say one from last season. We have white uniforms that are really like see-through. So the girls always have to communicate on what sort of uniform we're wearing, whether we're wearing the white or the blue, because you got to wear the appropriate underwear. So yeah, we figured that out last season. So that was great.
I've never heard of that one before.
Yeah.
Now, who's the comedian in the team?
The comedian. God, probably Millie Cracknell. She's, always doing dances or singing or something. She gives it to you. So she's probably the comedian, yeah.
Any good singers and dancers in the team we should know about?
I'm going to say Millie again, because she's the only one that stands on the court and will dance to no music or anything. It's probably just going up in her head. So she's the singer and the dancer and the comedian. She's probably wraps it all up, to be honest.
Okay, well, I think you might have just answered my next question then with that same person. I'm assuming she's into her TikToks?
Yes, I'm assuming that too. Yes, she does one before a game sometimes. So that's great.
Now, I have to ask this one as well, which is, do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Always. I've got really bad superstition. I've always got to have eggs and bacon for brekkie. I've always got to tape my ankles from left to right and then put my socks on left to right and then shoes on left to right. And then I have the same sports bar and skins that I wear. So I'm very superstitious, yes.
Going back to your teammates for a moment, is there any player on the team that are just plainly forgetful?
Oh, no, I don't think so. No, we all have our moments, I guess, where we forgot the ball was in Bendigo. But yeah, someone was in charge of those. I'm not going to say who, but that, might have been me. Got a message to get but we soon found some balls. Lucky the girls are basketballers and carry them in their car. So we were all sweet in the end. Yeah, it was a minor hiccup, but it's okay.
So you travel to different places around Victoria. Is there one single pump-up song that you have in the car to get ready to an away game?
We don't know. We have a Blazers playlist, which is just all full of pump-up songs. So thanks to Millie Cracknell, she made the playlist, and we just try to add to it when we find songs that we like. So that's a very interesting playlist. So get you pumped, which is nice. It's good.
What do you mean by interesting?
Just a lot of different, like you go from really doof to very mellow music. It's good.
Okay, yeah. Now I see what you're talking about. That fits the description very well.
A lot of TikTok too, so.
And now I've got to finish off with this one last one, which is for everyone that should support the mighty Blazers throughout this final series with the semi-final coming up very soon. What would be your advice to support not just the women's, but I'm assuming the men's team are in it as well? You might as well tell us how they can make that trip to Maryborough or wherever your away game is for the semi-final to support the team.
Well, we actually got granted the grand final game in Maryborough, so whether our teams are in it or not, it's in Maryborough, so a lot of us will be there. But just to get around, the boys travel to Castlemaine this weekend, so that's not too far from us. But with COVID restrictions, obviously, there's not much you can do other than keep a lookout on the Facebook page and just wish everyone luck.
Well, Maggie, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us on this Tuesday. And best of luck for that critical first semi-final coming up, and let's hope you win that game and return home with the Grand Final series back home.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
No worries. And that's Maggie there, joins from the Maryborough Blazers CBL women's team. Of course, we'll put all the details up on their first semi-final game, of course, coming up in not this weekend, but the weekend after, as they head towards hopefully another trip to the Grand Final. This time be playing at home at Maryborough, not in Bendigo. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the Tuesday edition.